as a reminder, we have got two, either or. You come to one on Saturday the 18th, come to it on Saturday the 19th. We've set it up in the morning. If you want to do games in the afternoon, do games in the afternoon, whatever you want to do. But we are bringing in five referee coaches plus the running ref to this event. It is at Silver Lakes in Norco. And I know if you're in San Diego, yes, it could be a long drive, but it's for a short period of time and it's going to be unbelievably valuable. I love going to these in-person events. There's nothing like it. We can do these webinars here and we can talk about positioning, we can talk about movement, and we can talk about setting up free kicks, but there's nothing like actually getting to do it and getting coaching from a proper, referee coach or a professional referee. We'll have an MLS referee as one of our referee coaches there. That's so good. We're also going to do like a full-on pregame warm-up and work on sprint mechanics with the running ref. So, would love for you to be there. Does this count towards regional progression? This is not a fitness test, so it would not be something that would be a qualification towards regional progression. But if you are going to be a regional referee and you want to become a regional referee, then you need to be going to these types of learning sessions so that you can pick up the skills to be able to perform when you do those challenging matches and you have your observations. So good question, Tiago. But it wouldn't be something that would count necessarily as like a game or a fitness test or something like that. We will definitely not be running a fitness test. I'll be doing this as well. Fitness tests are behind me at this point in time, unless they change the fitness test. But the FIFA this is not a FIFA fitness test. Good question. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump on in, guys. Again, I kind of aim to do about 45 minutes. I will tell you, I have loaded over 45 video clips into this presentation. I've got a little bit crazy, but how else do you show fouls and misconduct without video clips, for gosh sakes? And if you did notice, I have chosen a little outer space thing here as our theme tonight in honor of the Artemis launching today. Hang on one second. Let me make sure I hit record because that would be really sad if I did this presentation and did not record it. So let me figure out how to do that one second. Record, pause. Oh, it is recording. Fantastic. All good. All right, let's go, people. Game on. Use the chat. That's what it's there for. All right, calling fouls. Why do we call fouls? Yes, because someone's playing unfairly, but there's so much more that goes into calling fouls. Calling fouls helps referees maintain match control. Not calling fouls is how a match starts to spiral out of control. I think when a lot of referees begin, they think, oh, if I call fouls, people won't like me. Guess what? You're a referee. More than likely, at the end of the match, the losing team is not going to like you. You can't make people like you. You can't. You can't. But I promise you, neither team is going to enjoy the match if you don't call fouls. You protect the sanctity of the game, you protect the safety of the players on the pitch. We want you calling fouls. This is not, a CONCACAF, international match with adults. This is SoCal Soccer League. This is, yes, it's academy. Yes, without a doubt, but these people want to play soccer. The kids in this league, maybe someone goes plays college, but these are not necessarily future pros. Okay, we're not teaching them on these fields how to deal with the kind of physicality they're going to get when they eventually play, a friendly away in like Guatemala or Honduras or something like that. No, no, no. It's SoCal Soccer League. We're in Southern California. So please, please call fouls and call careless fouls. Additionally, communication, really important when you're working with younger age groups. When you call a foul, explain the decision. If they don't know what they're doing, if they keep doing the same thing, they keep using their shoulder, but they keep charging through someone's back and knocking them over, explain what they're doing wrong so they can avoid that behavior in the future. Really, really important. What is a foul? This is a great question. This is one of these very meta things. Like, what is a foul? I mean, seriously, ask a professional referee, what is a foul? And they're like, it's like pornography. I'll know it when I see it type of thing, the famous Larry Flint line. But things that we can consider are, was there contact? Great. You could call a foul and they're not contact, be indirect free kick. Was the player initiating the contact in control of their body? What part of the body did they use to make contact? Did the action unfairly take away an opponent's opportunity to play a ball, right? Because it's not like there's no contact. It's a physical sport. It's a contact sport. So there is pushing sometimes. There is charging sometimes. Okay. There are times when someone like bumble into someone else. They might even hold a little bit, but it's not necessarily a foul, especially given the level that you're playing with as well. And then we also have to think about, what does the game expect for this level of play and age group? Okay. What are they expecting at U8? What are they expecting at U19? Right? It's a very different thing. I had a guy on a match the other day, and it was a very physical match, and both coaches and parents were not happy. And I went up to him and after the match, I'm like, "We physical," like trying to explain, very physical. What might you do differently next time? He's like, "Oh, I know. I like physical. I like to play physical." And I'm like, "That's great that you like to play physical." But what about these 14-year-old girls? Do they want to play that kind of physical? We have to give people the game that they expect, not necessarily what you want to watch on TV on Saturdays and Sundays. It's really important. And just real briefly before we get into everything, again, today, guys, we're going to talk about direct free kicks and indirect free kicks. And of course, if it's a direct free kick foul and it occurs in the penalty area, it would be, for the attacking team, it would be a penalty kick. But I won't waste much time on that. So what is a foul? It really depends on, again, the level of the age of the players, the physicality. Some teams are very, very, very technical and they don't want any contact at all. Both teams are like not interested in any contact at all. Some teams like playing contact and they're comfortable with contact and they want to play through some contact to have a potential advantage. Okay. It's going to be different. It is very difficult when you're judging like a game like this, like U8. Like, what is a foul? Sometimes the kids are just falling over, on their own. Sometimes, it might be a foul. I don't know. Like here at the end, I think we finally do get what I consider to be a foul, where someone's pushing someone over, in the back and it's in their defensive third. Great. But sometimes it can be difficult to tell, especially at lower age groups, without a doubt. All right. So as we get through into these direct free kicks, again, there's a number of different types of direct free kicks. Actually, just yesterday posted a video on my channel about jumping at, which is one of them that's very much misunderstood. But we're talking about charging, jumping at someone, kicks or attempts to kick, pushes, strikes, trips, attempts to trip, and everything in between that. Okay, if that it involves contact, it is a direct free kick offense, and then we have to figure out, is it careless, reckless, or excessive force? Careless fouls are foundational. Foundational. Whether it's a trip like what we have here, and here's going to be another example of a trip. Maybe it is a handball offense. Okay. That would be, a deliberate handball. Maybe at an older age group, I might card that. It's a very deliberate handball without a doubt. Definitely, I think might be card worthy. I think this one's going to be a little bit too aggressive of a charge in the back, pushing someone over. But these types of things, here we get into a reckless charge. Oh my gosh. But these types of fouls really do, when we call them and we call them consistently throughout a match, it keeps the game under control. People feel protected. They know they're there. They know you're there. They don't have to take things into their own hands and deal out vigilante justice. When we're calling fouls like this, again, it's going to enable the game to open up. You're going to actually get to see soccer being played on the field. You're going to have a better experience. The coaches focus on coaching as opposed to trying to lobby you for calls. It is a wonderful thing. Parents just sit back and enjoy a match. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I highly encourage, we want to be calling our careless fouls. So let's talk about lower body contact considerations first and foremost. Okay. So things that we want to be thinking about: who's responsible for the contact, right? Who is initiating the contact against their opponent? That's like an important thing, and then how and where did it happen? That's right. I know there are sometimes different, levels that we'll call, when it's in the defensive third, hey, simple foul, call it. It's coming out easy. Middle of the field, great. Good game control type situation like that. In the penalty area, we better be 100% sure, right? So sometimes that can be, a part of it. But we're going to evaluate how much force was involved, how much speed, how much intensity. Okay. What was the mode of contact? And when I mean the mode of contact, were they standing, or was it lunging? Okay. Was it sliding? Those are three different things. Standing, someone standing next to someone, they're kicking a ball. Okay. That's one thing. Were they sliding into the challenge? Okay. Maybe with a bent leg. That's another thing. Were they flying through the air and lunging at an opponent with both feet out of ground, completely out of control? Okay. That's another thing. So if it's a 0 on the scale, not a foul. If it's a 1, might not be a foul. Okay. But once you start getting to a 2 or a 3 on that scale and you're 1 through 10, okay, that's a careless foul. If it's in that 5, 6, 7, okay, yellow card. If it's in that 9 to 10, whoa, my gosh, it literally takes your breath away when you see it. You're like, oh my gosh, that should never happen. Okay, that's a red card challenge. That's a really important thing. So it's just kind of gives you some idea of how we're going to be thinking through this and talking about it. And as you look at videos in this, I would love for you to type in like, is it a 1 out of 10? Is it a 5 out of 10? Is it a 9 out of 10? Just maybe it's a 0 for you and not a foul, but that's where we're going to do that. Also, other things to consider, again, where are they making contact? We talked about mode of contact, but where's the contact taking place? Are they making contact with the person's foot? So they're kicking at the ball and they kick someone's foot. Or are they sliding in or lunging in from behind and catching them full studs into the Achilles? Okay. That is, again, towards the 10. If they're, again, kicking towards the ball, do they contact the top of the foot? Okay. Again, not very dangerous per se if it's delivered with low level force. But if they catch them above the ankle, oh my gosh. At a minimum, it's going to probably yellow card and it could be a red card. Is it slight glancing, just kind of a little bit of a clip on someone, or is it full weight, full body impact? So those are the things we're thinking about when we're trying to judge, okay, is it just expected contact, careless, reckless, or serious foul play, excessive force, and brutality? Again, these are just examples of careless fouls. And you might be like, it's soft. But again, this is a U11 match, maybe. Okay. They're not looking to play through outrageous amounts of contact. Okay. It's a charge. Call it. Okay. Again, I think this one might be a little bit of a trip here coming up as this girl's coming through. Yeah, it's a trip. Okay. Definitely. We're calling that foul. Everyone's going to love that. Again, it seems like we're keeping players safe. This was one from earlier. It's a little bit of a pull. She's pulling her back by the arm. Okay, great. It's a great, foul to call. Again, trips like this. These are things that, again, they're just fundamental. They keep the game, easy to work with, and everyone is happy when we're calling the careless foul. It enables us to manage it. And again, you might be thinking, that looks soft. I promise you, you call these fouls in SoCal Soccer League, people are going to be happy. It's going to be a good, good day. So it's just one of those things. Okay. It's just, where are we? It's SoCal Soccer League. It's not an international friendly or some Sunday league. So again, considerations, standing position, expected for the age group, it's a 0. Sliding tackle from the side, medium force, could be a yellow card. Lunging tackle, high degree of force. I mean, coming in, running, whew, it's from behind. Oh my gosh. Red card. Very, very, very likely. So let's start, looking through this again. Again, minimal, light contact on the foot, top of the foot. Significant contact, medium force, okay? Top of the foot, okay? Or for maybe the side of the foot. High degree of force, Achilles, ankle or above. Again, again, just talking about the contact, light contact from the opponent, just with their side of the foot. Is it light contact with cleats, but a bent leg? Okay, so it's not full force, and it might be on ankle, but they've pulled out, and it doesn't have the full force of it. Could be yellow card, can manage through that. But again, full studs, high force, straight leg, or something like this, like a scissor challenge from behind with all of their body weight coming down on the ankle. Red card, no doubt. No doubt. All right. So let's start looking at some the challenges here. And again, just start, dropping it into the comments. Put in there. Is it a 1, 2? Is it a 5, 6, a 9, 10? Just go ahead and drop it in there. What do you think about this one? Look at thinking about your considerations. Are they keeping their feet? Is it low, medium contact? Does it look like they're coming from behind? So I've got a 3, 3, a 2, 3. Yeah, yeah, I'm right with you. I think it's a careless foul. I mean, again, could be, again, I'm not on the field. We're not on the field, so we can't tell how hard the person actually hits. Could it be in one game a yellow card? Could it be late in the match? Maybe this kid's had a couple fouls already, similar like that. Could it be a yellow card? Yeah, but it's probably a careless foul, especially at this age group. Looks like U16 boys. I think everyone accepts a careless foul. No problem. So good, good. I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys. But this is good. All right. This is one of my games. It was a very cold, foggy night. Yeah. What do you guys think? Okay. Player in black gets fouled. What is it? 1, 2, 5. Is it a 10? Yeah, it's all right. It's just a simple charge. It's again, it's one of these things. It's an easy call, middle of the field, a little bit of a charge. I could appreciate, again, a 4, but for me, it's a 2. A 1, whatever. It's an easy one. These are U19 girls, so they can be pretty physical, whatnot. It was just, a little trip, whatever it might be. All right. Next one. Let's look at another one here. Ooh, player goes down pretty hard on this one. Now this one's a little bit difficult to see. So player in blue is going to get the ball. Player in yellow, they're the ones who get more injured, but they come in late, and could be a lot of force here. I mean, or I'd say a medium amount of force. I don't want to be you know, influence your decision too much. And I love, Matthias, I love that you're putting in this, that it could be 4 or 5, right? Because it is a sliding scale, right, guys? Like sometimes, depending on the game, it might be a 3 or 4, where it's early in the game and everyone's calm and temperatures are low. And then, I see Tony going here, knee to knee injury. Well, who's the injury? Blue player looks fine. Yellow one who commits the foul, who doesn't get the ball is actually the one injured here. It could be a yellow card. It could be, right? I mean, there's a lot of contact there, right? Definitely. So I just want you, just thinking through that, where is the contact? How much force in the contact? Man, that guy gets like absolutely like clipped over. I could potentially see this going, for a reckless challenge as well. Yeah, it's late. Yeah, and again, easy for us to say, on video. This is probably happening bang bang, on the field. They don't even take one step between the challenge. But again, these are things that we should be thinking about. Okay? Yeah, definitely could be a reckless challenge here. So I'm totally with you if you say careless, and I'll totally support you if you say a reckless challenge as well. Great. So again, it's another one. This one's again late, but not too bad. Let's go back, do it one more time there. Again, little trip after the ball gets away. Where is that on a scale? 0 through 10. Yeah, a lot of threes. 2. Yeah, I love that. Tony, I love what you're saying that. 2 and a talking to. I like that, right? Because the ball was away. They're not making any attempt, on the ball. It was kind of a late challenge. Be like, hey, dude, don't do that. What are you doing? Ball was away. Why'd you trip him there? I love that. So that's really great. I love that you said that. 2 and a talking to. Yes, sir, Tony. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Especially if it's going to be a while for that kick to get set up. I may call him back here and be like, hey, don't do that again. I've got your number now. So great one. I love that. Okay, cool. Let's do another. Now, this one's really fun. I'm going to play this whole video. We actually have 2 challenges here. 2. Referee allows the quick free kick and then a penalty. So we'll do this first one here. Okay. Got a little bit of it's almost a tackle, not so much lower body, but referee again correctly aroused a quick free kick. And then we've got another little trip there. It's all good. Yeah. Spa 5. Interesting. Yeah, it definitely could be. Now, interesting. Ref decides to allow quick free kick as opposed to show the card there. Um, which they certainly could have. Yeah, but this referee is doing a killer job, right? Like, not only are they in great position to get this first foul, the awareness to allow the quick free kick, and then look at them hustle to get in good position for this penalty kick. And everyone believes that decision, right? Like that is a confident referee. I like that 3-3 from Matt, 3-5 from Wilbur. I like that. Two on the first, four on the second. Yeah, yeah, I could go with you. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I could totally go with the potential yellow card there as well. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, these look like U17 boys, maybe something like that. So maybe that first one might be a two or a three. Yeah, but definitely, I think I might give him a yellow card for that challenge there. That was good. I love that. Good one. Yeah, this is good thinking. It's awesome. All right. This one's an interesting one. Interesting. So, of course, dude gets ball. He gets ball, right? Now, mind you, I want to explain where this is on the field, okay? So, because that might factor into your decision making. So, the player in black is in there attacking half of the field. The player in white looks like I guess the right back, and they're coming back for this ball. So, it's in the defending third. Okay, so you're not giving away an attacking free kick here. Um, Player in black, gets ball, but they come in pretty hard, huh? You know, Definitely looks like they make some contact there. It's interesting. These are one of these that I think a lot of coaches, have, questions about, but it's like, gosh, if we don't call a foul there, um, on that one, man, it could start getting kind of hot, especially right in front of the bench too, right? Yeah, that's the white bench right there. Yeah, yeah. I certainly wouldn't say excessive force for me personally, Richard. And then also, we don't have any studs going like directly through the player, so I don't have excessive force and brutality. But it's a hard challenge. It is hard. It really is hard. And I love that, Richard. If flashpoint area needs to be smothered quickly, yeah. If I was the ref, I'd be over there real quick, so right in front of the bench, right? Yeah, I think this is for me, and this is my personal, I think this is going to be in a 5-6 type of thing. Yes, they're making a legitimate challenge on the ball, sliding it pretty hard, right in front of the bench. Yeah, I can feel very comfortable with a reckless challenge here, for me personally. Again, the contact, are they making contact with the top of the foot? Does he swing through and get like a little bit above the foot into the ankle? He's not making contact with studs into the ankle, but it definitely, I think, is six. I could even get 6-7-ish. I love Serge's like, no yellow for me, decent tackle. Again, depends where you are. Depends the level of competition, without a doubt. What do they think is acceptable? But this one could get sticky. I'll say that. So interesting one. That's why these things are all on a sliding scale, that's for sure. All right. So let's start looking at some upper body contact. So things to consider for, yeah, I like that, David. If he's challenged similarly in the past, upgrade to yellow. Yeah, that's right. It's game management, right? Again, if this is early in the match, temperatures are chill, it's all good, and these kids are playing generally physical otherwise and seem very comfortable with that, then you might be able to get through that with a stern warning and a conversation or something like that. If it's definitely something like it feels like all of a sudden energy has just changed, right? And we're like, whoa, what's going on? We may have to show a yellow card and calm things down. So again, it's something we feel out as we go. All right. So, uh, the considerations for upper body contact, again, are they using, kind of like a little bit of forearm, to get space, or are they throwing an elbow, right? Is it just an arm for balance, as they're leaning into someone else, or is it an arm thrown at someone else? Is it an open hand, or are they using a fist, right? I mean, again, we talk about strike and attempted strike. Okay. That could easily be a red card. Even if someone misses, if they're throwing a fist at someone we know. And again, is it slight glancing contact? Is it just a push, or it is a full on, elbow into someone's rib cage or something like that, or they're just coming in and leading with an elbow and catching someone in the jaw. Those are the things we think about in kind of that 0 to 10 type of scale for upper body contact. So here's example, and I want you guys to say, this is I think a U12 match. right? So U12, we're still on a small-sided field, and there's going to be, contact, upper body contact. Is this fair contact or foul contact for this age group? What do you guys think? Fair or foul? You could just type that in, fair or foul. Yeah, dude, I'm totally with you guys. I think this is fair and expected contact for this age group. Yeah, there is the laws of the game say that, they list out direct free kick offenses, but it's only a foul if it rises to the level of careless, right? And then, of course, reckless and serious foul play. When you're acting without care or disregard for the safety of the opponent. I don't see anyone acting without care and disregard for the safety of the opponent in any of this contact here, right? I mean, these are people that are seem to be going in with care for their opponent. They're using a reasonable amount of force, and there's a little bit of a push or a little bit of a charge or something like that, and a little bit of a sidearm. Totally fair. I think that's all good. And sometimes you may have parents, complain, "Oh, she's pushing her in the back," or something like that. It's like, a little bit of contact, a little push is fair. It's not a bad thing. It's okay. So this is one of my games. So this was an MPL game. And so this was like a tough moment. Like, is this fair? Is it foul? And you could see my AR about to raise the flag. And I'm like, no, no, no. All good. And I'll tell you what I saw in this one. So player is kind of a loose ball situation. Player in white kind of gets position, then she loses, then she's pushing the girl in black in the back, and the player in white falls down. Okay. I didn't have a foul on her. Like they were both kind of going back and forth. And I should say this is, I think, U17 NPL girls. Okay. So higher level girls. And I call a lot of fouls. So, but in this situation, I was like, who am I calling a foul on? The girl in white pushes a little there, then the girl in white pushing the girl in black. She falls down. I'm like, ah, you know, it's expected level of contact. These girls are battling it out for the ball. It's a reasonable amount of force, for this age group. And yes, it's very clumsy and someone's falling, but I'm like, no, am I calling foul on the black player here? I mean, I feel like the black player's getting fouled and they wind up staying on their feet and maintaining possession. Yeah. So this is one where I would be like, no foul, let them play. Now, if that happened at that U12 game, okay, I'm probably calling a foul someplace, right? But at U17 MPL, it's not a foul for me. I think this is, just it's physical play, we're going to play on type of thing. So I think this is so important to just kind of recognize what's expected contact in one age group and competition level and what's expected in one another group. And then also is a lot of gray area, right? It's not, very clear and easy to see. This was another one of my games. This is another game. It was just for me, I'm all about, physical but fair. I like physical but fair. Are you staying on your feet? Are you coming from the side? For me, I felt the girl in the blue came through the back of the player in the black. So if they're, battling side to side for that, I'm good. But I felt like she comes through the girl's back, right? Nice body check. Ice hockey, that's right. I think those hip checks in particular, again, if you're using your hip and you're not shielding for the ball, you're just kind of knocking someone over. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a foul for me. Yeah, played the player, not the ball. And I want to be careful about, I mean, do you have to play the ball? No, but the ball needs to be in playable distance. There needs to be an attempt to play the ball, I think, right? So I think that's kind of the things that they look like. But again, all of these things, it's a gray scale. It's all over the place. All right, here's another one of my games, high school game from this season. Again, for me, it was a charge. Just simple. It's not a lot of force, but I've got a player in black who's defending a player in white, pushing him. If I don't call that foul there and the team in white scores, then you're going to lose the game. You lose all credibility. So again, how much force? It's not a ton of force, but I think this is a great thing. Yeah, I like Matthias is saying, arms, arms pushing out. I got two extended arms in their back. I try, I want to be sensitive. I don't want parents or spectators to think that every time someone's putting hands on someone, that it's a foul, right? Because some people say hands in the back. Hands in a back is not a foul, but a push, or a charge from behind. Yeah, use too much force charging them from behind. That's usually how I'll explain it. It's like, nope, too much, charged them over. Yeah. David's like, no effort to get to the ball. That's right. They're playing through the player as opposed to trying to play, for a ball. Yeah, agree. So that's good. For me, these fouls right here, great fouls to call because the negative or the inverse, if you don't call a foul here and the team in white scores, my gosh, you've completely lost all credibility on that game. And good luck getting out of it. All right, here's another one. Let's see. This one's interesting. This one's interesting. So player in white is going to kick the ball. Player in black kind of continues through and knocks the player in white over. A little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'll let you say it. Scale of yeah, you won't get to your car. That's right, David. Yeah. Okay. So scale of 1 to 10. Where is this? Is this just a careless foul? Is this a reckless foul? Is it serious foul play? Where is it? 0 to 10. Arnold writes, it's challenging for some referees to change the level of allowed play when moving between age groups. Hey, brother, it is a challenge for many referees, Arnold. Many referees. You can take an MLS referee today and you put them on a U10 match, and let me tell you, they will struggle. They will struggle. Or if a referee is used to doing, Sunday league adults, and then you try and put them on a U13 girls match, okay? It can be very difficult. We have to be sensitive to where we are and what the expectations are on that field on that day. And good referees are looking for that, right? They're trying to set the tone early as to kind of where their bar is, but they're being sensitive to who's playing, right? And that's really important. That's why I started kind of talking about, SoCal, Soccer League and what SoCal Soccer League is, right? So again, Serge, be careful when you use that word that you say seven, you say excessive force. Excessive force and brutality means red card to me. So just, I'd say it could be borderline, right? It could be borderline. Personally, for me, I think this is a reckless challenge. And this kid is he's out of, gotta be so careful with the words, out of control. They're definitely, they've lost control of their body and they come in to me with a medium to high degree of force. They're not, leading with an elbow or lunging with studs. But I think this definitely, and the kid jumps up a little, adds to it, but lands really hard. I think a yellow card could be, good here. And Rose, I love your words. Definitely not considering the safety of the other player. Yeah, that's what a red card is, right? I'm sorry, a yellow card. When you're reckless, you're definitely acting without disregard or you're acting in disregard for the safety of the opponent. I love that. Yeah. Okay. Explain careless versus reckless. So careless, and I'm gonna use the exact language here from the laws of the game here, guys. So I think this is important. So a careless foul would be again 1 to 3 on our scale. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10. So let me pull up our handy dandy laws of the game here. Careless is described as when a player shows a lack of attention or consideration when making a challenge or acts without precaution. Okay. Again, when we saw those girls again, they were perfectly fine. When someone like tries to kick a ball and they clip someone else's foot, or maybe they just barely click a shin guard or something in nature, or it's a charge to the back, that's careless. It's a lack of attention or consideration when making a challenge. Reckless is when a player acts, and this is why I loved Rose's words that she used, acts with disregard to the danger to or consequences for an opponent and must be cautioned. Okay, they're acting with disregard to the danger of an opponent. That's what this person here. They're coming in so kind of loose and out of control that they've completely taken their opponent out of the play here and they've landed really hard. I think this is a good definition of reckless. Excessive force that's when we get to a red card, is when a player exceeds the necessary use of force and or endangers the safety of an opponent and must be sent off. And again, the description is a serious foul play. We're talking about excessive force and brutality. So on this one, it's a little late, no play on the ball, if you will. But, they're not cracking someone with an elbow. It's not a lunging, studs up challenge or something of that nature. It's kind of bang bang. I mean, it's right there as the ball gets away. So for me, I think, yellow card would be sufficient here. This one's a very interesting one. So where is this one on the scale of 1 to 10 for you guys? Oh, Kifa going 7. A lot of threes
Hey, she
based
playing
on age
innocent.
4 to 5. Yeah, 4. Yeah, it's interesting. I think these kind of challenges are so hard to gauge, right? Because it's not an outrageous amount of force, right? Yeah, I like that bad angle to see, Matthias. You know, it's not an outrageous amount of force, but we've got a player like off balance and they wind up landing and smacking their head on the ground, right? Boom. You could see the head hit and immediately the hands go to the head. Um, it's so tough. You know, it could be careless, it could be reckless. Um, it really depends on a lot of things. But we see times when someone doesn't use a lot of force, but someone's like leaning off balance and then they get pushed over. You see it a lot of times where someone's trying to keep a ball in play and they kick with their outside foot and then someone charges them and they don't use a lot of force, but they send them flying. It's really difficult to tell. Again, are they acting without disregard for the safety of their opponent, right? So no, I would never call it dangerous. For me would be excessive force and brutality beyond like the 8, 9, 10. But I could understand the argument if someone said to me is like, no, actually, this was her opponent. It's at high speed. She pushed her over at high speed, and she was off balance. And yeah, I'm gonna show a yellow card for this one. It's a game management thing. So I could see that being happen. I know, yes, she created her imbalance going for the ball. I get it totally, but I think a lot of gray area on this one. I could understand if someone said, "No, I'm showing a yellow card for a reckless challenge." It just based on force and a little bit of a push, it would be careless. So very difficult to tell. Very difficult. That's why being a ref is hard. Again, I showed this one earlier. These are just like little pulls and stuff. And again, he's trying to see if the he's going to be able to play out of it. It's an interesting one though for me. It's like, this kid's in his defensive third. Maybe he breaks loose and starts a counterattack, but like when Orange gets the ball here, foul, 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 call it. Why wait for them to fall over? Just call that one. For me, it's a careless foul coming out. But again, we've got no advantage here. There's very little possibility for advantage. Yeah, it's a simple two. Yeah, call this. Because if you don't call these 3 fouls that happen here, that kid is going to decide to take on vigilante justice. Yeah, where's the ref too, by the way? Notice that? Where's our ref? Where's our ref? Yeah, a 2 becomes a 6. I love that, David. Dude, that's so great. Yeah, refs in center circle. I know, I know. So I've got a player in their defensive third, fouled 2 or 3 times, ref really far away from it. It- there's no reason to let this happen. Just call the careless foul and move on before you get in a yellow card situation. All right, let's see what we got on this one. Oh, this is interesting. So goalkeeper is going to get possession. Okay. Ref's going to call a foul on blue. Okay, this is a jumping at foul, right? So, just careless. It guys looks like, I don't know, U15 boys, maybe something like that. You know, yeah, threes, threes. Yeah, I love that. I'm good with a careless foul. I mean, you may just be like, hey, be careful. I mean, again, he's got a legitimate opportunity to go for that header. They're both going for the ball. I get a lot of these videos from goalkeeper parents like, how is this not a red card? I'm like, and you may want to invest in headgear for your kid. It's a dangerous position. But yeah, no, I think I'm fine with a careless foul here too. This is a very interesting one. So this is a jumping at situation. Okay, so ref is going to call the foul. Sorry, I didn't set this one up to repeat here. Let me back it up. Ref is going to call the foul in favor of the light blue team. okay, and say the foul is on the player in dark blue. And I agree. So the these are really difficult as a referee. Really, really difficult. Because sometimes, and I would say pretty often, I don't want to say pretty often, I want to use my words carefully. There are often situations where the player who jumps up at another player is the one who winds up getting really hurt, right? The Russian gave a four on this, like this type of thing. When they leave their feet in a challenge, they're putting themselves in danger and they're putting other players in danger. The player in light blue is shielding, the ball with perfectly legitimate amount of force. I think it's perfectly fine. This is a foul in the player in blue. It's just a careless foul, but it's a foul. And a lot of times people will start screaming, oh, they were undercut, they took their legs out. It's like, yeah, but they jumped up at someone else and they put themselves in a vulnerable position. I love that, Matthias. Straight up, good call. Can't climb over an opponent even if you're playing the ball. Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's kind of a ridiculous thing. But you'll hear a lot of dissent on these calls, but it's absolutely the right call. Yeah, he's jumping up on top of someone else's back. Yeah, it's a foul. When would you call bridging? I'm not sure I've ever heard of bridging, Joseph. Are we talking about obstruction or impeding? Could that be the phrase you're looking for, Joseph? Let me know. But I'm not familiar with bridging. Obstruction, maybe? Yeah, could be. Not sure. But let me know. Yeah, definitely look it up. Let me know your thoughts. And I'm happy to answer. Oh, this one. Yes, another one of these jumping at. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can hear the video on this one. I left the audio on this one so you can hear the parents. I mean, the parents are going bananas on this call. So again, we've got a player in white jumping at an opponent, and they may be the ones heading the ball, but they're knocking over their opponent in the process. I think this is a good call. Yeah, I agree with ref here. I think this is a foul on white for jumping at the opponent. Yeah, and again, I love Serge. Thanks for using a number. Yeah, it's a careless foul. But it's a good call. You don't call these, and then it starts getting pretty reckless. You're right. But you can, I don't know if you guys can hear the parents here, but the parents are like, how is that a foul? Are you kidding me? What? You know, like, yeah, maybe you won the ball, but you did it by jumping at an opponent and kind of creating a little bit of a reckless situation here. Cool. So let's go forward here. Boom. All right. Let's see if we got another one. Who commits the foul? Again, these are this one's a little bit more of a gray area because white's moving, right? Now, ref calls the foul in favor of black on this one. So who's the foul on, black or white? Definitely foul against white. Yeah. Oh, foul on black. So we've got a foul on black. I'll tell you, it's tough. It looks like white is undercutting the player in black, but you could also look at it and be like, well, white is almost trying to avoid this dude who's jumping into him. It's a tough one. I think no matter which way you call this, you're going to have spectators and coaches and players possibly, disagree. They can, without a doubt. For me, I might just lean towards, calling a foul on black. Black's on defense here, call it coming out. Seems like they're more at risk here, even though they've jumped up. It's a tough one. I mean, I think both of these players are moving towards, the same space. It's a really tough one. It's a really tough one. No one ever said being a referee was easy, and this is a tough one. White doesn't play the ball, just undercuts black. Well, White is like looking like they're trying to get ready to play a ball, but the black player is jumping up, over them. It's tough. Yeah, this is interesting. I love Kevin's rationale. Kevin says black cannot challenge for the ball fairly, white can. Interesting, right? Yeah, so even on this, you know, on this, this little webinar right here, I think we might have like split decisions as to who is actually committing this foul. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. There's nothing clear cut on this one, to be quite honest. I'm not sure. Yeah, when unsure, give to the defending team. My motto is when in doubt, it's coming out. Am I going to give an attacking free kick here, for White on this one? I'm probably not, but again, I'd totally support you if you did. Totally support you if you did. So all good. All right. Now we're gonna start looking at some reckless ones, man. Like just really start dialing it up here. Okay. So reckless challenges, just in general. Okay. These are fouls where and these are absolutely game management type thing. Now, again, tactical fouls, something different. We're talking about SPA, something like that, stopping a promising attack, a deliberate handball to stop a promising attack, something like that. Obviously yellow cards for dissent, completely different. These are challenges where we've got a pretty serious foul here. Okay, where you do these types of fouls enough, you're going to injure someone. It's going to happen. So these are things that are definitely game management. And you do hear this kind of like feedback from time to time. It's like, well, if the referee would have pulled cards earlier, no kids wouldn't have gotten hurt. Yeah, sometimes that can certainly happen. So it's important. Again, what we're seeing when we do these types of fouls, right? It's a much higher degree of force, right? Much more speed, much more intensity. What's the mode of contact? Okay, in this situation. Okay. And again, you could drop those numbers in the chat, on a 0 to 10 where you think this is. But we've got someone sliding in from the side and behind. They're going to make contact with maybe the top of the foot into opponent's ankle side of foot, right? So it's not studs. They're not coming through with studs. But yeah, yeah, I'm with you, Wilbur. Yeah, 6'7". 6'7". What's up? Yes, it's like a 6 or 7 on our challenge scale. Yeah, I think this is a great yellow card to show, without a doubt. Everyone's expecting a card here on this kind of contact right here. Late, hard, challenge, high degree of force, connecting from the back and side. Yeah. Thankfully, this kid doesn't get hurt here, but you do that challenge, 5 times, at least 1 or 2 out of 5, this kid's going to be injured and not going to be able to play the rest of the game. So it's definitely a thing, without a doubt. Cool. Let's see this one. Ooh, it's I know we don't have a good angle here, guys, right? On this one. But again, just the way this player comes sliding in here. Again, looks like they might pull out and not have a full straight leg. But again, you see someone coming in with that kind of force, leading with studs, making contact on foot low. It looks kind of low, maybe, but I think they're studs, but I think he kind of like maybe bent leg, not full straight leg. But yeah, we're in that like 7, 8 zone. Easy. Yeah, 9. Wilbur's like, oh, it could be. It's like one of those, it could be. It could be a serious foul play challenge. It could be. It looks like referee's in great spot to see this. And it looks like he kind of holds up a little, and it's not full straight leg, studs, ankle, but man, it could be. Definitely, it could be. All right, this one is an interesting one 'cause it's 13-year-old kids, but for some reason, this kid from behind like jumps up and studs this kid in like the ankle and Achilles. And I don't understand. I've watched this. Oh no, he winds up stamping on his Achilles. Just watch this one. He's running from behind and he stamps on this kid's Achilles. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, yeah. I agree. I don't think you have a choice. I think you got full weight coming down from behind on that very, very vulnerable area of the Achilles, and it winds up twisting the whole foot around. Yeah, it's for me, it's a red card. It's in that 9-10 world. I know this kid doesn't mean to do this, but it's such an awful challenge. It is such an awful challenge. So again, we've got full impact. It's his whole body weight right there. It's it's on the Achilles from behind. Yeah, it's got to be in front of bench. I don't know if those are the parents. I think it's the parents, right in front of the parents. I think it's yeah, all flesh. It's really bad. Yeah, this is going to be a red card for me. Okay, let's see this one. So this is a charge, right? Upper body contact charge. Let's see that one more time. So Wilbur's going 8 on this one. Sorry, I'll do it one more time. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. I think charges generally usually are not red card. You'd have to have a pretty intense charge leading with an elbow or a shoulder directly into someone's chest for to see a red card charge. But yeah, this is a reckless charge. Yeah, definitely. I think everyone is expecting this one to be I'm sorry, I said red card, didn't I? Sorry, yellow card, caution. Thank you so much. Yeah, caution, Matthias. And Rodney, you say the word orange. Like for me, that's a yellow card and a real strict talking to, right? It's like, hey, yeah, you earn this. Take it down a notch. I don't want to have to send you off here. Great. All right, next one here. This is almost more of a tactical nature, right? So this is going to be like a massive bear hug. White's is going to grab, 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 grab. Yeah, I think the game expects this to be, yeah, rugby. I was a former rugby player. It's a great wrap tackle. Yeah, I think the game expects this to be a yellow card. Oh, David was a rugby player too. I'm a fly half, by the way. What's up? And I was a rugby referee. Thank you. Um, oh no, David, we're gonna have to hang out and chat rugby. But yes, everyone expects this to be a yellow card. No doubt. You can't do something like this on the field, this type of cynical challenge like this, and not hand out a card. Must be. All right, let's see what we got on this one. This is interesting, right? So now we've got a jumping at, but this one's going to have a lot more force, huh? Whew, totally cleans that guy out from behind. Nigel Owens, love it. Yes, I definitely model myself some Nigel Owens. Yeah, I mean, I think this could be a yellow card reckless challenge. Yeah, definitely. Everyone's expecting a card to come out on that. It was a ridiculous challenge. Ridiculous. Yeah, it's cool. This is another one on the so what I was talking about was someone off balance. Kid's like, I used my shoulder on a charge, but he chucks him. Again, someone made that comment before. No attempt to play a ball at all, right? Kid's off balance. He's acting without regard for the safety of the opponent. Yeah. Absolutely. A little bit of a extra like push out there. It takes him over. Yeah. I think this is a great caution. Yeah. It's like, hey, kid, I totally appreciate you think you used a shoulder there, but we're not going to have that happen on this field. That's way too much force. You need to act with a little bit more regard for the safety of your opponent there. So definitely medium plus force. Yeah, you can't treat your opponent like a bowling pin, Jeff. Well said. Yes, I like that. I may have to use that sometime. That's a good one. I like it. I like it. Awesome. Let's see what's next. What else I got? Oh, this is a charging red card. Yeah. This is one of the worst charges I've ever seen in my life. Even if someone does a rainbow against you, you can't do that. You can't do that. I don't understand how more people are not reacting to this hit, by the way. I mean, it's like seriously, it is WWE like awful. Yeah, if someone does this on a pitch and literally does a running, flying shoulder into someone's head, face, elbow into someone's head, face, I hope every single person on this call is going 10 and you can't pull the red card out of your back pocket fast enough. Yeah, same color as the shirt. That's right. You need to be out of here, gone. Honestly, if you're not 9 or 10 on this one, we probably need to do this entire presentation again. All right. I think we're about done here, guys. I'm almost at the end of this. Oh my gosh, this is another one of these, dude. Yeah, the rainbow is criminal. Again, these are these things where it is so much force. It is excessive force, in this excessive force and brutality. Oh my gosh. Jumps like out of control, just absolutely crushing the opponent. I mean, this is so dangerous with such a high degree of force towards the opponent. No play on the ball. Send them off, please. My gosh. All right, real quick, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I know we're already at almost 9 p.m. your time. It's almost at midnight my time. But just real quick, different indirect free kick offenses. Again, playing in a dangerous manner. You hear this all the time. People are like, he's playing it on the ground. It's like, no, I mean, he's playing in a dangerous manner, right? These are examples of playing in a dangerous manner. When, you are endangering someone else, on the ground by like kicking out with your studs off your back, or again, it's one of these situations where they're putting their themselves in danger by putting their head on top of the ball or their bodies on top of the ball. That is playing in a dangerous manner, right? Additionally, playing in a dangerous manner could be a high kick. That's a high kick. Again, kicking high is not a foul. It's not, okay? But playing in a dangerous manner is. So if you kick the ball and, people are far enough away and they don't like recoil when someone kicks it because they haven't put the other opponent in danger, perfectly fine. If they kick a ball and it's really close to someone else's head or face, and they don't touch him, indirect free kick. If they kick a ball and they do touch someone else, it's a direct free kick and it could be cautionable and a red card without a doubt. So that would be playing in a dangerous manner and an indirect, free kick offense. Let's see. Do I have it? Is this what this is? I'm not sure. I'm so curious what's going to be on this video, guys. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's a great one. I don't know if you saw it there. He doesn't make contact with the opponent. Let's do that one more time. So this ball is going to be played forward here. And the defender in red is going to be like trying to go for the ball. Guy in white takes his foot up like right by his face. He doesn't make contact. Okay. It's an indirect free kick. Okay. For playing in a dangerous manner. Okay. That's what we're looking for there. Let's see. Oh, this is obstruction, or this was impeding. But, even if this guy doesn't make contact here, and he's just kind of moving his body in front of someone else, going out of his way to prevent someone from getting to a ball. Now he makes contact, so that would be impeding the progress, but it could be obstruction. And I've called this against people, balls like going towards the goalkeeper and like a defender comes over and like they're 20 feet away from the ball and they specifically move into the path and stop in front of someone else. Dude, I'm calling it. Now, the first time it happens, I may be like, hey, don't do that, especially younger age groups. But older age groups, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So again, you can't obstruct someone's path to the ball. You can't impede them by getting in the path if you're not within playable distance of the ball. That is not shielding. Yeah, Richard's got it right there. Ball must be in playable distance. Great. This is a great example. Okay. This is legal, what this girl's going to do. She's going to shield the ball. Blue defender. Okay. Ball's in playable distance. Yes. Use a shoulder. Get your body in between yourself and the ball. Okay. You can, stop, shield them out. Perfectly legal. You can take a position between, the ball and your opponent. Perfectly legal. You can fairly charge someone, with your shoulder. Okay. You can use a reasonable amount of force. All good. Goal kick. That's right, Matthias. It's fantastic. All right. We're not going to do handling, guys. That is for another day, next call, because that would literally take another hour by itself. All right. I've taken a lot of your time, guys. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed. Any questions for me? Direct free kick offenses? Anything that we did not cover in this call that you want to chat about before we wrap? Oh, guys, thank you so much. I love all the positive feedback. Hey, listen, if you enjoyed this, tell your friends, tell your referee association buddies. My gosh, I put a lot of work into making these things happen for you and throw a lot of videos together. I know that a lot of people can benefit from these conversations. There are 4,400 referees in Cal South. We only had 44 on this call. Okay, so 1% of our referees were on this call. Now, that's good. And I love you guys. I love you. I love you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at Silver Lakes too, Richard. Thank you so much. But please, next time, bring a friend. All right, guys. Yes, recording's going to be available. It's recording, and I always put the recording in the Friday newsletters, and you can see them on our YouTube page. So we've got a SoCal Soccer YouTube. Every single one of our webinars is on that YouTube page. I put it on there by Friday. So Rodney, you'll see it on the YouTube page on Friday, and it will be in my weekly newsletter. Okay. Again, love you all. Thank you so much. I'm getting to sleep. Peace.